Hello and welcome to Our Kids, brought to you by the Jefferson County Public Schools. I'm Ben Jack. On this month's show, we take a look back at some of the more interesting students and programs we featured during the 2012-2013 school year. We also have these reports from our high school student correspondents.
Many students aren't sure of what career path to take, but these high schoolers are getting a jump start on their future. I'm Fern correspondent Emily Jordan, and coming up, I'll have the story.
One elementary school teacher has taken an idea from a computer screen to an eco-friendly reality.
Did you know there's a pre-law program at Seneca High School? Well, students spend a lot of time dissecting the complexities of the judicial system, but it all pays off when they put their knowledge into action during a mock trial scenario in their new courtroom.
We are here today on the case of California versus Ordonez. Prosecution, this is your case. You may start with your opening arguments, please.
The mock trial that we had today was a criminal law armed robbery mock trial.
Alvarez was innocently walking down the street when the robber emerged from the shadows and said, "Stop walking, I have a gun."
The students read a packet of evidence, and then it was their responsibility to draft opening and closing statements and draft questions for the witnesses.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
My role in this case was to prove to the jury that my client was not the robber.
Corporal Stevens, you ordered 2 officers to go and obtain fillers.
They're learning how to read cases and brief those cases, and briefing is just to summarize it in a standard way. They're learning how to draft arguments and how to be persuasive.
Would you agree with the statement that your teachings did not influence him enough to keep him out of a detention center?
They're learning how to read well and write proficiently and speak persuasively, and those are all important skills that no matter what these students go on to do, they're going to benefit from being in the program.
I enjoy this because it's just really interesting to find out what happens in a courtroom every day. I have family members who are involved in civil law, so I've always been interested in it.
When we normally think of law, we think of what you can't do instead of what you can do. But law is really more complex than that. It allows you to be free but maintain some order in society, and so this class is really helping us to understand what law, the true meaning of law is.
It's nice to be able to expose them to the reality of the law and get them here in the courtroom so they can see how it really works, that it takes a lot more effort and reading and writing than just popping in the courtroom and getting to say, witty things in front of Judge Judy. So they studied a lot about misidentification, and so I think they were more worried about the expert coming in and ruining their case than just the alibi, and that's what it sounded like they stuck on, was that we believe Jennifer Hill that, that Jessie was sitting on her couch, eating popcorn, watching a movie when the robbery happened.
Don't you think she would have been like
maybe she's protecting him.
Did she say he was riding a bike though?
All right, let's see it one more time. Everybody up here. All right, show of hands. Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Being able to prove someone's innocent or guilt based on logic and not assuming, assumption.
Some Brandeis Elementary students got the opportunity of a lifetime, meeting a man that many have only read about in their textbooks. Retired Supreme Court Justice John Paul Stevens visited the University of Louisville School of Law, and our students were on hand to present him with a special award.
How many mock trials have you had here?
Oh gosh, did you see that courtroom? Yeah, there's lots of mock trials in there.
We got to get a tour of the law school, which was really interesting. We took a tour of the Brandeis School of Law. We got to see a lot of things. We got to see like a courtroom, and we got to sit like where the jury would sit.
I was very privileged to meet a grandson of Justice Brandeis, because I often think of myself as a grandson of Justice Brandeis.
We got to meet John Paul Stevens. He's the 3rd longest Supreme Court living justice.
And we actually got to see the grave of the founder of the school, who was actually the first cousin of Albert Brandeis, who is the founder of our elementary school.
I made a presentation to Justice Stevens, and his work will have a lasting imprint in such areas as civil rights, administrative law, the First Amendment, death penalty, and the separation of powers. And I told him about what he did for our United States Supreme Court.
We want them to take away, why it's important to think about your future, even when you're in elementary school. What do you want to do when you grow up?
And we actually did research on Justice Stevens. We learned that he was actually a big part in our workers' fund. He made a lot of big decisions, because he made women's rights, civil rights.
We gave him a horse, and it has a jockey on it, and it says his name, and then it says the years he's been a justice. I was nervous. My heart was beating really, really fast. I only prepared the speech yesterday, so I was going over my index cards 5 times each one.
We also want them to take away some of the ideals that Justice Stevens stands for.
I want to be a lawyer because, like a lawyer or an attorney, because you can fight over an argument. I'm feeling great. That was just amazing because I've never really got to meet anybody that's very special in my life before. So I was feeling really good and special after it was over.
How do you build an igloo that's inside the middle of a classroom? Well, one Mill Creek Elementary School teacher has done it, and Our Kids correspondent Paige Anderson has the story.
At Mill Creek Elementary, multiple disabilities teacher Sandy Hawks has created a new and surprising way to teach her students to read. With 432 milk cartons, Sandy Hawks created a reading igloo during her class's Polar unit. More accurately, this igloo is a safe haven for Hawks' autistic, special needs students. Hawks describes the good behavior that this igloo promotes.
It's kind of like a behavior reward at the end of the day. Right before the bell rings, it's time for a self-selected reading, and then they get their book and they go in there. But if they've had a rough day, their choice is they choose to sit at their seat instead. They get to go to the igloo.
Lillian, a student, explains how she enjoys the igloo.
The igloo is lovely and cold.
Hawks' students range in age from kindergarten to the 5th grade, and each have 2 or more disabilities, many who are autistic. Children with autism usually have problems in language, behavior, and social interaction. Hawks tells how the igloo has had a positive impact in helping the students control their behavior.
The behaviors, they love to go in there, so I think they try a little bit harder to control their urges.
This one gets a lot, right?
Students Jaheim and Ricky love the igloo and talk about their favorite books.
Discover. What's your favorite book?
The flying bus.
The flying bus?
Yeah.
You mean Magic School Bus?
Yeah.
With the help of the students, her husband, and a very cooperative Starbucks manager, Sandy Hawks took an idea from Pinterest to a unique educational and sensory experience for her students. This reading igloo melts the icy tension around reading. For Our Kids, I'm Fern Creek correspondent Paige Anderson.
Lassiter Middle students are reaching new heights with their 20-foot high climbing wall. Aaliyah Brooks has the story.
Learning is on the rise for students at Lassiter Middle School.
It may look like these students are just rock climbing, but they are actually learning much more about their physical, mental, and social skills. Program coordinator Debbie Russell explains how all 3 components are used.
The rock wall actually fits into all 3 components of health. It does the physical by working on muscle strength, balance, and coordination. It works on mental part by concentrating and figuring out the right route that you're going to take to climb up. And it's social by interacting with the belayer in accomplishing the goal. So it hits on all 3 components of health.
Students have a challenging time making their way to the top. Student climber Keyshawn Tobin tells about his first experience climbing the 20-foot wall.
Because the way it looked so high and how they was talking about it when you get at the top, but when I actually got on it, it really didn't seem so scary.
But this experience is not all about the climber. Students quickly learn it's not just a one-person job. 7th grader Cameron Davison describes the job of the belayer.
Belaying is when you are actually holding the person by their ropes when they climb a wall so that if they fall, they will not actually fall off the wall.
Besides the climber and the belayer, there is a 3rd member of the climbing team. 8th grader Ernest Bradley says the anchor is the most important role.
I check their belts and helmet. In the case they do slip and fall, I'm there in case the belayer can't like hold the person.
Whether they are on the ground or climbing the wall, these students at Lassiter Middle School have important jobs to do. For our kids, I'm Fern correspondent Alea Brooks.
We've got a lot more stories about our kids, so stay with us. Welcome back to Our Kids. I'm Ben Jackie. Well, before some of your favorite musical artists hit the stage with their #1 hits, someone had to write the songs, and sometimes it's not them. Well, some YPAS students took part in a master class with the stars behind the stars, the Music City Hitmakers.
Baby, you don't know a thing about me. You don't know a thing about me.
We had the Music City Hitmakers, which is kind of the conglomerate organization for a group of Nashville singer-songwriters. They came to YPAS and offered a lecture demonstration and kind of a master class for our students here.
We are songwriters by trade. That's what we do for a living. We also, I'm a producer. We all do lots of different things. But our main gig is songwriters.
Speaking with us about getting into the business and how tough it is out there and just kind of what we need to do for like our next step out of school.
I've written a little over 2,000 songs, for instance. I've been lucky enough to have about 350 of them recorded by different artists.
The fact that I had this opportunity to just come to school and be able to talk to people like this is just totally awesome.
I get the lost, my strings all get tangled, my wires all get crossed, every now and then.
These folks are doing it every day, all day. They're making a living at it. So the experience and the information is not only fresh, it's current, it's on topic, and the kids can see at the level they're performing at, so they can then start preparing themselves to perform at that particular level also in years to come.
But then sometimes, as when you do it as a craft and you do it every day, sometimes it isn't always, really about yourself. But there's always a piece of every song, I think, that I write, and every song that you write, that it does come somewhere deep down within us. There's always a piece of us in the song.
A lot of times, especially when you write country songs, it's helpful to start with a title. So one way to do it, there's lots of ways to do it, but a lot of times it's like, hey, I've got this idea for a song. So what do you got, And we start throwing out ideas, and Gordy says, man, I got this title, When Jesus Takes the Wheel.
I haven't really sung with people like this before. I mean, I've worked with smaller groups, and I'm working on starting a group of my own, but I've never worked with professionals at this type of thing.
I was made for you, made to adore you. I was made to love and be loved by you.
I think it was really amazing because I knew of the songs, and I don't know them word for word, but the kids here are so plugged into the music scene cross-culturally. They know classic, they know jazz, they know country, they know bluegrass, they know singer-songwriter stuff. And I think these artists were actually very flattered when the kids knew those songs and could sing along with them. So it was a very, again, sharing collaboration of, I'm not here to prove how good I am to you. I'm not here to show you what my songs do. I'm here to share with you what I do for a living.
Real-world professionals often visit JCPS classrooms to offer their advice and thoughts on being successful in life. A Grammy Award-winning musician took a detour from his music tour to share his story and talents with Ballard High School musicians. Connor Whalen has the story.
It's not every day a Grammy Award-winning musician pays a visit to your school. But that's what happened to band students at Ballard High School. Jeff Coffin and his group The Mutet performed for band students in an informal session. The band had a Louisville tour stop and wanted to include a visit to the high school. Coffin, who has performed with Bella Fleck and the Flecktones, as well as the Dave Matthews Band, said education is an important part of music.
We do this quite often, actually, for a number of schools throughout the United States. I've done a lot of stuff overseas also, Canada, We were in Brazil last year as well. And I play with Dave Matthews Band. And so even when I'm on the road with them, a lot of times I'm out there doing clinics and working with students. So yeah, it's a really important thing that we do.
The band members played different techniques. Students then went from rhythms to listening and rose up to the musical challenges.
What I learned a lot about today was how the polyrhythms and background rhythms that are found in folk tunes and tribal places such as Africa can be used in jazz music, and to help to incorporate that when I'm playing jazz and to help make the connection to the audience with what I'm playing.
The most important thing he probably told us was to listen around and to be involved in the ensemble. Everyone has to do their part, and everyone's part is important.
Students say the real-world experience these band members brought to Ballard will help them develop as musicians and connect emotionally to the music. I'm Ballard correspondent Connor Whalen for Our Kids.
The National Art Honor Society has a new chapter at PRP High School. The NAHS encourages art students to volunteer their talents in the community. Jordan Underwood has more.
Hi, I'm Jordan Underwood, and this is NAHS, National Art Honor Society, a new club at PRP.
We wanted it to establish to address certain areas of concern to our art students, such as career opportunities, colleges, and we wanted to give them an opportunity to do some service hours, some volunteer work.
They have given our artists an opportunity to express themselves outside of the classroom.
I think the most memorable thing is getting to know each other and going on field trips.
It allows me to get to know other artists and hone my own artistic skill.
We have went on face painting events. We've went on field trips. I've met a lot of cool people, seen a lot of important artwork. I painted something in the office, Panthers.
Every year we select a president, and this year we chose Diana, a very hard-working, talented artist who will guide us through the year.
National Art Honor Society is for the students who excel in art.
Reporting for Our Kids, this is Jordan Underwood.
Too many computer files and not enough space? Online storage might be one solution. Ballard High School's Andrew Campbell has this month's Tech Tip.
Online storage services are great for anybody to upload important documents, homework, and other files. Dropbox and iCloud are just two apps that offer uploading services and are easy-to-use options. You can pay to upgrade for more storage, but the initial amount should serve any student well. Check out your electronic devices app store for more information. I am Ballard correspondent Andrew Campbell with this month's Tech Tip.
Don't go away. We've got a lot more stories about our kids coming up. JCPS high school students are offered the opportunity to visit many universities, colleges, and career fairs. The Kentucky Construction Career Fair is a hands-on experience that gives students a realistic look into the trades. Our Kids reporter Emily Jordan has the story.
For many JCPS students, choosing a career field of choice is right around the corner. But a few Kentucky organizations are giving high school students the opportunity for hands-on training in a very demanding field.
Welcome to the Kentucky Construction Career Fair.
The Kentucky Construction Career Fair, held at the Shelby County Fairgrounds, is a two-day career fair giving students from all around JCPS and Kentucky the opportunity to learn and get some hands-on training in different construction careers. Student Sean Fleur explains why coming to the career fair is beneficial to him.
I actually want to get into the electrician trade, and when I talked to a couple of people, they actually helped me out a lot and better myself and teach me on the ways I need to go.
The first Kentucky Construction Career Fair Day was held in 2004 when a few Kentucky organizations saw a need for a more developed construction workforce. The organizations decided to put together this career day to promote the idea of a construction career to Kentucky students. Coordinator Darren Thompson shares what he hopes to accomplish through the Construction Career Day.
To promote different trades and construction jobs in the industry and get students excited about future careers.
While students are at the fair, they get the opportunity to work hands-on with the machinery and tools that are commonly used in the construction field. The students can do anything from building birdhouses to operating jackhammers. Aaron
Webster, a student at Iroquois High School, explains why he likes the hands-on experience.
I love to get out and get hands-on on things, and that's what they try to do here, get you hands-on and get you some experience, so when you go out into the real world and try to get a job in the construction area, you know, you'll have that experience.
The Kentucky Construction Career Fair is not only a great opportunity for students to get a look at possible careers in the construction field, but it also helps them choose which path, college, or straight to a career would best benefit them. For Our Kids, I'm Fern Creek correspondent Emily Jordan.
Carrick Elementary students are learning some important lessons in their school garden. In fact, they even presented some of their bounty to the First Lady of Kentucky, Jane Bashir.
Okay, today we're going to work with our first grade and fourth grade buddies, and we're going to harvest some of the vegetables that have been growing this summer in the garden. So we want to look for ripe tomatoes. Anybody know what is a ripe tomato going to look like? What's a ripe tomato going to look like?
It's not going to be too smushy.
Not too smushy.
It's going to be all red.
Ooh, look at that. Look at all these red tomatoes. You could pick all of these. This is our courtyard garden where we have a lot of edible vegetables growing. We have fruits growing, all kinds of things.
There's some peppers, tomatoes, some flowers, and strawberries, raspberries, and well, there used to be lettuce, but we ate it all.
Who's been in there?
Oh, I did not see that.
The concept is it's an outdoor classroom. It's welcoming the children into the environment upon which they live. Most of our students, many of our students, do not have an opportunity to have a garden or to even see where real plants that they eat, vegetables, where they come from.
So we're wanting them to look at the characteristics. They start with a seed, and the plants have grown, and now they have vegetables that are edible.
We ate the strawberries, and we ate one, and we had to share them too. And then we planted the lettuce, and we had a salad bar with our third grade buddies and ate the lettuce.
After we harvest some of those tomatoes, we have some fresh broccoli plants that we're going to put in the ground for our fall crop this year.
We received these plants from actually the governor's garden. Okay. Yes. So we went a couple of weeks ago and took some children to see the governor's garden at the state fair. We had the opportunity to meet the First Lady as well as the Kentucky Ag Commissioner, and then also to speak to the First Lady about that initiative of Kentucky Proud, and then also being able to plant their own vegetables, and what does that look like. And it could be just a little barrel in your backyard, or it could be a very large-scale garden.
My favorite thing is being out here is because we get our hands dirty, and I like getting my hands dirty.
There you go. Push the dirt around the plant. Now we want to really try to stay close to this line of this string. They love it. This is an opportunity for many that they otherwise may not have, and to see it actually grow and then also get to consume it as well. That is an experience that for many of them, they will remember that, you know, in their elementary educations.
We love the garden!
Double dutch, crisscross, side swing, jumping rope is a lot of fun, but perfecting those techniques is also a lot of work. Good luck keeping up with the Barrett Middle School's jump rope team.
One thing's about JCPS sports, football, basketball, and baseball usually come to mind first. But students at Eastern High School and Crosby Middle School are jumping their way into the mainstream. Students from Eastern High School and Crosby Middle School are working together to form their own jump rope team. The team was created in 2008 because several of the girls had been on the Height Elementary team and wanted to continue jump roping, but there were no middle or high school teams in Louisville. This unique team, known as Jump It Up, meets twice a week after school at the Berrytown YMCA to practice. The girls come up with their own routines and teach each other new tricks. The team performs their routines at community events and at half times of YMCA basketball games. The girls attend workshops and will be competing in their first competition this year. Murray Huber and Mackenzie Guy, members of the Jump It Up team, are looking forward to these events.
My favorite things about jump rope is we get to go to workshops and camps, and I think that's an interesting experience because we get to meet people from all across The U.S.
This year will be the first time we're actually competing and not just watching. We're going to regionals, and so it'll be really fun to see how it turns out.
Members of the Jump It Up team, Abigail Canfield and Caroline Canfield, explained their favorite tricks.
A double under is when you do a jump, the rope goes under you twice, and then a triple under, it goes under you 3 times. For donkey kick, it's like doing a handstand and then jumping back down on the rope.
My favorite trick is probably TJ, and that is like when you're fully in the air, you do a toe, which is like crossing your arms with one arm under your leg, and then a side swing all in the air.
Looks like these students have found a great and unique way to stay in shape and keep their hearts jumping. For Our Kids, I'm Fern Creek correspondent Sylvia Blake.
That's our show for today. We hope you've enjoyed it. You can find full episodes of Our Kids on the JCPS YouTube channel. Until next time, keep supporting our kids.